Just like that, we're back. We're on air. Welcome back to the Dylan Berry Network. It's been a while, but usually I'm off because there's nothing I'm really excited about. Something that I really do want to talk about. When I think about what I want to do with this channel, what I want to do, I've thought dude, I love movies. I love talking about movies or reviewing movies, but really it's only when it's like a movie that blows me away. I love watching movies and I watch movies a lot, but I don't want to talk about average movies. I want to talk about a movie that is fantastic. And what I don't talk about a lot is television shows, but there's one that's come out that I need to talk about. One that is near and dear to my heart. HBO has rolled out 2 episodes of The Last of Us, and I want to get into it. I got a special voicemail from a special dude of the program. I mean, last time I was on here, too, we were talking Stranger Things. Blew us away. We had to get on and talk about it. Well, the next property is here, The Last of Us. And Zach and I are going to get into it. Let's go.
Hey, Dylan. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Dylan. Big fan of the show.
Huge fan of the show. Love what you're doing.
Such a big fan of the show. I'm so glad to have a minute of your time.
Hi, Dylan. It's Robin.
Dude, Dylan.
Look, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. It's not hard to understand, okay? So here's my thought. You would be crazy to think that. Well, welcome in. This is Hey Dylan. Trying something new today. I hit up my buddy Zach because I know Zach is a fan of The Last of Us. He played the game. He played the first one. And he's also, so good at breaking this stuff down. So I kind of wanted to react live to a voice memo he sent me. I said, dude, tell me what you think of The Last of Us. That's kind of all I said. What stood out to you, what excited you, but just open-ended. Tell me your thoughts. And dude didn't hold back. So appreciate it, Zach. Let's get into it. This episode's also brought to you by Ray Berry. Ray Berry sent in this fresh microphone to the DBN studios. So what better chance to use it? Ray Berry, happy birthday. Today's his birthday, January 25th. Shout out Ray Berry. You're the reason I sound so good. But I probably could sound better because I'm mixing myself and, you have to kind of learn that process. But we're going to get into Zach's thing. I'm going to put these headphones on, and it looks really weird over the beanie. But I kind of have to wear the beanie. It's cold in the lab. So here we are. The Last of Us. First 2 episodes. Spoiler alert. Of course, this is if you've seen The Last of Us. Just going to take this. We're going to... He gets into it. And again, Zach, I was a little worried about what he was going to leave out. But he hit every beat that I want to hit. So this is perfect. Zach Dunn, this one's for you.
All right, man. The Last of Us. First thing to talk about is how faithful this adaptation has been to the game. It just seems like it's made with such care and attention to detail to the source material, and that feels really refreshing when a lot of adaptations, whether it's books or video games, take a lot of creative liberties and end up just kind of diluting what made the original special. And I think by paying attention to the details of the game and kind of moving that into the realm of television, it keeps what makes the story so special.
Yeah, I love that point, and I think this is the big scary thing when it comes to video game adaptation. Any adaptation, if it's a book, sometimes it works out great. It's Harry Potter series, and it is timeless. It's amazing. It's incredible. And sometimes you get a book series, maybe like a Divergent, that doesn't translate to screen as well. You get video game movies like Warcraft that should be hopefully a big box office success, doesn't work. Uncharted, a Naughty Dog property, a really incredible cinematic game like The Last of Us, came out. Mark Wahlberg. That one did not land well with people. That's just how it goes. Video game movies. Assassin's Creed came out. Michael Fassbender was the lead of that movie. Did horrible. So we get a video game property, and you want to let it be its own cinematic universe, or in this case, its own series, its own world. but also like you got people tuning in because this story, The Last of Us, the video game that came out in 2013, I played it when it came out. It is an emotional roller coaster. Zach's going to get into that. But it was so immersive. The graphics were groundbreaking when it came out. Like, that's, I think, why people are so excited about it, is because when this game came out, it was a moment. Like, it was beautiful. The graphics were insane. This was a narrative game where you were watching cutscenes that would last 5, sometimes 10 minutes would feel like, but it didn't matter. And then when you were playing, it was so smooth, and there was so many innovative things and ways to interact with these infected. And it was just amazing. And so when you get this now, as a series, it's a little, you got your guard up. You're nervous. What could this be like? Could this not work out? You hear that the team that worked on it, is a part of it. Awesome, that's great. Pedro Pascal. Okay, let's get it. Maybe an actress that we haven't seen before. Okay, let's do it. And I think they are doing the right amount of sticking with it, and also letting the director and the actors and everyone kind of still do their own thing. But it's pretty incredible.
It's the music, the authenticity of the costumes,
the music, specifically that acoustic guitar. If you have not played the game and you're just like, what is that little acoustic guitar? That is like in between every loading screen. That's like when you come up upon a new scene. That was kind of your bridge into every kind of moment of that game, that little acoustic guitar. Then the second, and I think in this first one, that guitar comes up. So, yeah, pretty nice. I like that one.
And the props, things like, Ellie's switchblade, Joel's coat and backpack, the sets, and even, it's been 10 years since I played the game, and there are still some shots that you're like, oh my gosh, that's pulled directly from the game. That's amazing.
Yeah, dude. And I love every account that is like holding this show accountable. This like putting the literally shot by shot, because it, like, even the way the camera will twist around to, their backside to see them overlooking the city. Like, it's just ripped right out of the game when they're in that lobby, and Tess has the bite, and then they're trying to deal with it. Like, those shots from up above them, that's like straight out of the game. It's incredible. But like, it still just feels like a great show. Like, it doesn't feel cheesy. I don't know. It's working.
So that's just really, really fun. That also makes me really curious as to what the experience of watching the show is like for somebody who is new to the franchise and the story and hasn't played the game. Because, if you are a fan of The Last of Us, there's a lot of kind of baggage that goes with that, knowing what kind of where things go from here. And I've never played the second one because the first game I loved to death, but it's so stressful that it's hard for me to replay it. And the second one just looks even more so.
Yeah, no, that's true. This is it's an emotional series, like, in every way. Like, you'll laugh pretty hard too, but you will be freaked out. Feel so. Anyways,
and I think that's something that the show does really well, is keeping that constant sense of tension and danger throughout every episode. That's excellent. Thus far, I think the casting of Ellie and Joel has been spectacular. I think Pedro Pascal as Joel is perfect. I love Bella Ramsey as Ellie.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal, man, he's having a moment and a half. Like, there is no one hotter right now, I would say, as far as the television space, because with The Mandalorian, with this, yeah, Pedro Pascal, real deal.
So much of the thrust of the first game is the relationship between those two and how it grows.
And Bella Ramsey, phenomenal Ellie. I'm sold.
And everything I've seen so far of their chemistry seems really good. And now that it's just the two of them, I'm hoping we see more of that, and we'll kind of get a better sense of how that's going to play out. I have high hopes for it. just given what we've seen so far and what the reviewers who have seen the whole season have said. So we're excited. I'm really, really excited for this next episode because I think it'll be the Bill episode with Nick Offerman and his town. So should be a lot of really good stuff there.
Yeah, this next episode, I assume, of course, if it stays, true, which is another kind of tough thing that like happens with these video game movies is I'm kind of like, dude, well, I'm loving this and I'm like all for it. I'm gonna watch every Sunday night, but I know what happens. Like I know how we get there. So there's going to, I imagine there's going to be surprises along the way. But yeah, I mean, it's hopefully no secret that this is a father-daughter story here. This journey, we saw Joel's, what happened to him pre this, outbreak, and now we're about to go into a town and see some other people and how they've adapted to this new crazy virus infection, whatever. But yeah, I'm really excited for this episode. We're about to really ramp up now that we're out of the city. We're moving along. Show's about to ramp up.
Really looking forward to that. I also just really want to quickly talk about how much the added content at the beginning of each episode so far, showing pre breakout, has been like the beginning of this most recent episode with the scientist in Jakarta who immediately when she realizes what's going on just says bomb the city, and how quickly she comes to the conclusion that the world is basically over and there's no stopping this. It's kind of a cool tie back too when they say that this happened at this grain and wheat factory. I saw
before he gets into that point, because I know where he's about to head. Yeah, I do want to talk about these opening scenes that we've seen. These are not a part of the game at all. Like this is truly kind of doing this flashback, slowly unraveling what it was like, maybe around the world, or just how this thing slowly became out of control, and we got to where we are today with smugglers and getting in and out of the quarantine zone and things like that. We're going to see that ramp up, and yeah, just the way they're doing that is so unique and so terrifying and informative. Like it's incredible exposition as we see like this thing is scarier and scarier and scarier than we realize. And another part, and Zach doesn't mention it, but one thing that's not in the game as well is whenever they go into these dark spaces where there are spores everywhere. In the game, you would put on a gas mask, and it would be like, you cannot breathe this in right now or you will die. They removed that, of course, because they, paid actors to have faces, and so we can, react with them live. So they don't wear gas masks as far as we know. They might go to a more intense spot where they will, but one thing that is not in the game that's in the series is this way that it's all connected like this big vine, like the way that you step on one cordyceps, it's all going to be connected and it's going to alert 12 other infected that are going to be headed your way. That's not in the series, but that absolutely works as a way to make these infected so dangerous and so, just lethal. And you just never know where you're going to step. Maybe make a huge mistake. But Zach, I'm gonna back it up a little bit here, but makes a good point here about so things the internet is pointing out, because the internet is finding amazing Easter eggs. Like I've just absolutely loved being on Twitter, watching the show unfold, and fans of the show, new fans of the show, just breaking down what they're seeing.
It says bomb the city, and how quickly she comes to the conclusion that the world is basically over and there's no stopping this. It's kind of a cool tie back too when they say that this happened at this grain and wheat factory. I saw some people point out in the first episode how much food played a role. The fact that, Joel didn't get these pancakes made for his birthday, that he didn't bring the birthday cake, that they didn't eat the biscuits that the neighbors offered. All these kind of really subtle references to the wheat products that people were eating ended up being what was transmitting the cordyceps fungus. So really cool attention to detail there, and a little extra magic.
Yeah. It's Easter eggs galore in this series. I think it's going to be more and more of that. It's just, yeah, it's crazy because you have so many people watching this show, like record-breaking numbers. I was just looking up that this had, from episode 1 to episode 2, this had the largest growth in viewership at 22%. Episode 2, 5.7 million people watched Sunday night. That's 22% higher than week 1, which is the largest increase for an HBO original drama in the history of the network. HBO, home of The Sopranos, home of The Wire, recently Succession, Game of Thrones. Gosh, what am I? The Last of Us, record-breaking numbers, pretty crazy. And it's just, people are invested, and you're not seeing a lot of negative reviews. It's insane. It's insane.
And I think this story feels scarier now than it did in whenever it originally came out in 2011 or 2013 or whatever.
2013. That's right, 2013.
But having lived through a global pandemic, feel really lucky that as bad as COVID was for the world, that it didn't create a race of zombies, because it seems really, really shitty. So
I think I've thought that of like, wait, this all kind of feels familiar, and hearing the word quarantine and like the testing that takes place and whatnot. I was like, yeah, well, this is feeling familiar. But yeah, it's insane. I guess the timing that this came out, that we're out of the pandemic, but yet it still feels like it was like we're all still hungover from the pandemic, but this is like a kind of still fresh new thing that is, luckily not us. Luckily not us. That's a great point. Let's see what else.
There's definitely a little bit more of a visceral fear of, hey, wow, how close is this to something that could actually happen? And that just adds a whole different level of tension that the game didn't have when it first released. So those are some of my thoughts. Can't wait to see more.
Yes, shout out Zach. Appreciate you for doing that. The Last of Us. This is something. This is a show that I'm very, very excited about. And I don't watch a lot of television. And like I said, if I hop on here, it's because there's something I'm excited about. And what, the Oscars, the nominations came out this year, and this is a year I'm excited about. And they did lean pretty popular this year, right? Avatar, Top Gun, nominated for Best Picture. I've only seen Top Gun Maverick. I haven't seen Avatar yet. But I'm honestly feeling pretty inspired that I'm going to watch all these movies. I'm going to try to, come with the ones I love. I was pretty ticked off that Babylon was snubbed, personally. Loved Babylon. The fact that Nope wasn't nominated, I think, is surprising. But, you got a lot of Fabelmans as well. But Everything Everywhere All at Once. I saw a great tweet from David Ehrlich that said, every category, everywhere, all at once. Because that's what it was. 11 nominations, pretty insane. I hope they win, though. You get a lot of nominations. That's sick. But like sometimes you see a movie come in with so many nominations, they only walk away with a couple of those awards. And will the Academy want to spread them out? Make sure every movie gets one gets a screenplay, one gets an actor, one gets a director, cinematographer. That's sometimes how it goes. Banshees of Inisherin, solid movie, great movie to watch for performances. I think Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, I can tell you that one's solid one to watch. HBO Max. The Whale, tough one to watch. But again, performance. Like, to see Brendan Fraser back, it's incredible because he transforms into this thing. I really did like it. It's probably a movie I won't revisit a ton, but that performance, I think, it's like a little historical. Just in the fact that this year has kind of felt like a comeback year. You got key from Everything Everywhere All at Once, who was in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, or not Raiders, sorry, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and he was in the Goonies, and then he went away for all these years, comes back with this incredible performance, the heart of the movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. He just see him get all this shine has just been incredible, and he's clearly so grateful, so humble, so excited to be a part of it all. Rooting for him for sure. But then Brendan Fraser making this giant return, and I mean it's not Oscar related, but Jennifer Coolidge is everyone's favorite person all of a sudden again. And The White Lotus would have been one to jump on, but maybe we'll be ready for season 3, or maybe we will tap in. Who knows? But yeah, I'm excited about the Oscars this year. I gotta watch Elvis. I gotta watch Tar. It's a big one. Women Talking. Got tickets for it for Saturday. But I plan to watch it all. I plan to give some predictions. But I'm actually invested. Last year, I don't know that I saw a single nominee, which is that's not normal. That's not what we do. But it's a little off year. This year is an exciting one. Now I'm like, I got to go see Avatar. I do. I have to. That's okay. I'll enjoy it. I got to go in with a good mindset. I'll enjoy it. I'll come back. Some predictions. Phoenix Suns, what can you say about them? I think my take, spin zone, Phoenix Suns are in the best position they could ever be in. We're about 8th in the West, I believe, right now. We're in the play-in tournament. That's all I know right now. But we spent way too much energy on the regular season last year. I think our guys are hurt, but I think we're giving them as much time as they need, and we can let the bench play the Hornets, on Tuesday night. And that hasn't played out super well. We have fallen pretty far from grace, but I don't think teams like the Kings, like the Jazz, are going to be hanging around come May. You take my word for it. I think the Suns are doing the right thing. Let the regular season be what it is. Turn it on March, April, so we can get our guys through the whole way. Last season, best regular season in Suns history, and guys are pulling hamstrings. Guys are getting hurt in the playoffs, not at 100%, and couldn't beat the Dallas Mavericks. So I think the Suns are doing it right this year. It's my take. Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Say that right now too. Just spouting out shit, but Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I think the high ankle sprain. Someone said to me at work today, they were like, I think that's a media injury. I think that's just to drum up some hype. I don't know. I think he's going to be just fine. He's tough. I like that take. There's a lot of shine on Joe Burrow right now. A lot of shine. And the NFC, quiet over there. Do we trust Brock Purdy? Do we trust him? I don't know. But that's all I got. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Zach. We'll probably follow The Last of Us quite a bit. Follow the Oscars. Check us out on Instagram. Be sure to like. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. Grateful for you. We'll see you soon.